28th, 2022, the applicant submitted a variance request to allow both a detached garage and attached garage addition to be encroaching within the required setback of the SLDC. Table 9-8-7, dimensional standards, LCL, CCD, residential estate, states the front of the building shall be set back 25 feet from the property line, and the rear and sides of the building shall be set back a minimum of 50 feet from the property line. As indicated on the site plan, the front property line is South Estrellas Road. As this road lies within the subject property, the front setback of 25 feet is met. The garage addition is 10 feet from the side property line. The 2,025 square foot detached garage that was constructed, which is labeled as carport on the site plan, is 21 feet from the side property line. The applicant's property was originally a 2.5 acre parcel, which was then divided through small lot family transfer plat, creating two 1.25 acre parcels. The survey was recorded December 4th, 2015. At the time of recordation, the residence was existing on the property. On November 3rd, 2022, the applicant presented the proposal to the Technical Advisory Committee at its regular scheduled meeting as required by the SLDC, Section 4.4.3. A pre-application neighborhood meeting was not required with this application. The applicant has satisfied the notice requirements of the SLDC, Section 4.6.3. The applicant submitted an affidavit stating that notice was posted at the property for 15 days before the hearing, beginning on December 28th, 2022, published in the Santa Fe New Mexican on December 28th, 2022, and sent to owners of land within 500 feet of the property. The applicants have addressed the variance criteria as follows, and staff has responded. Recommendation: the request for a setback variance does not meet the standards of the SLDC Section 9.8. Staff recommends denial of the variance request. If the hearing officer finds the variance criteria has been met and recommends approval of the variance, staff recommends the following condition be imposed. And hearing officer, can I enter the following condition into the record?
Yes, please.
Thank you. And yeah, I now stand for any questions.
I do have a couple of questions, Mr. Bustos.
Sure.
I note that the property was divided in 2015. At that time, that was prior to the adoption of this present code, is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that how it was possible to divide at that time there wasn't the 2.5 acre requirement? Is that your understanding?
Yes, I believe the old code, and Mr. Larrañaga can confirm this, but had the small lot family transfer, which allowed them to create two lots.
I've looked at those two lots on the material that you provided, and I understand that the one that we were talking about that Mr. Hernandez owns, but the remaining lot doesn't appear like it would be capable of meeting any of the setback requirements. In looking at it, did you look at that?
Hearing officer, yes, I have seen the survey, and even as Mr. Hernandez's property, that's a acre and a quarter, and even with that, the 50 foot setback is can be hard to meet.
Yes, yes. I also note that if this were zoned in the traditional community, which has a minimum of, I think, currently it's zoned in the residential estates with the minimum of 2.5 acres. But if this property were considered in the traditional community, there is just a minimum of 0.75 acres with different setbacks. They aren't, they are 25 feet from the front, the sides, and the rear. And I don't understand, why is this property in the residential estates rather than in the traditional community?
Yeah, I'm, not sure how they came up with those standards. I know, our planning department met with members of the community out there, to work on their plan. And, those were, the members who attended those meetings were basically the ones who, came up with these standards, so.
I see. Okay. And do you know what the remedy would be in the event that the planning commission disallows this requested variance? Would that be removal or moving of the big structure which is designated as the carport?
Hearing officer, if the request of the planning commission were to deny the variance request, I assume that would be, they would possibly require him to either move or remove the structures.
Thank you, Mr. Bustos. That's all the questions. I may have a question after we hear from the applicant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, at this time, I would ask the applicant and his representative to both be sworn in, because I'm going to have questions for the applicant.
Travis Dixon, 1033 Old Pecos Trail, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Miguel Hernandez, 6 Estrella Road South, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Mr. Dixon, I understand you're going to speak to this requested variance?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there something you'd like to add to the response that's already been provided?
No, Mr. Bustos did a great job.
Well, I believe my questions are directed to Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez, could you describe, I understand that there's a carport that's an issue here, but there is also an attached garage that you also constructed without a permit, is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
And can you describe that attached garage? Is it a single garage, a double garage?
So the attached garage is a double garage, and that is attached to the actual house, and that's the one that's closest to the 10-foot kind of property line.
And does that have an electric double door?
At one point it will, yes.
I also, what exactly is the space from the large carport to the property line?
21 feet. So we're
So they are both not, they're no.
right.
not
We're
compliant.
like 4 feet. Well, yeah, exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Now, I have a question for you, Mr. Hernandez. I note in this paper that you said that in 2017 you did get a permit to construct the portal attached to your house. Why didn't you get a permit for these constructions?
So with doing the carport, he felt like because it wasn't heated or didn't have electrical in the part that was going to be going on, didn't feel the need to pull a permit. Yes, he did pull a permit to do the portal, but he was actually tying it into his actual house and thought that, he was messing with windows and things like that of that nature. But in this case, it was just being built onto the side of the house and really wasn't going to be affecting any structural issues with the house.
Does the large carport, does it sit on a concrete foundation?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a discussion about an easement, and I'm looking, I don't know if you have in front of you the hand-drawn sketch. I'm trying to figure out what is the significance of the easement that you indicated in your application. There's a 15-foot shared easement. Does that easement run along the sides or the rear of the property?
Yes, so the easement, that 15-foot shared that you're seeing, I guess was the original easement paperwork that he got when he purchased the home. And so with him seeing that 15-foot shared, that would be 7.5 feet on each side within available room to build the new structure.
Again, could you just tell me where physically the easement is? Is it on the east, west?
Yes, so if you're looking at the property, you see the house with the loop
Yes.
going around it? Okay. At the most crown of the loop on the most north side, it is touching that dotted line, and that is the 15-foot shared easement on this particular paperwork.
I see, okay.
Yes,
But
sorry.
between the dotted easement line is the solid line that represents his property?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Correct, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And is the entry to the property the loop? It says that it's on South Estrella, so where does?
Yes, so you see where the loop kind of goes in and kind of is headed towards the street there?
Yes,
That is the entrance to the property. And that between that property line and the new structure, there's 21 feet.
the new structure being the carport,
Yes, ma'am.
because the garage is also a new structure. I mean,
It is, yes, ma'am.
do you know how much it would cost for you to move the carport if that's required? Do you have any idea of what that would be?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost not movable, to be honest with you.
Well, it might have to be movable.
Well, yes. Probably in the upwards of $40,000.
And that would be entailed, and that would be the pouring of the new foundation and,
Yeah, and disposal, and yeah, nothing would be salvageable. Yeah. And that was just for the carport, yes.
so both of these structures are, neither one of them meets the setback requirements.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Does staff have any questions for the applicant in relation to any of these issues I brought?
No, hearing officer Hebert, we do not.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see if we have anyone that wants to speak from the public as to this request.
Great, thank you so much for your time.
Okay. At this time, is there anyone here in the audience who would like to speak to this requested variance? Seeing none, I don't have any indication. Does the court reporter have any indication that there's anyone on WebEx? No, you can't see it, it's just blank. It is for me as well. Mr. Larrañaga, do you see that there's anyone out there in the,
I do not, I don't see anybody on the WebEx other than,
okay. Well, if there are no other questions regarding this requested variance, I will prepare a recommended order that will then go to the Planning Committee. And I'll prepare that order within the next 15 business days. And I thank you all for all your attendance, and we'll adjourn this hearing.